Hey y'all, welcome to Chef Outdoors. We're doing something a little bit different today. So I want to tell you about my experience with COVID. Here I am. And yeah, that's me. I pretty much died. They told me I was going to die. They told Crystal I was going to die. It was not fun. It was a scary situation. Let me tell you a little bit about it. So you saw me there. I look beautiful, right? Well, I was incubated, which means basically I was in a coma, induced on a respirator, which chances of survival are like, I don't know, less than 3% nationally. And they said because I'm such a slim fit fella that I had like less than 1% chance of survival. Now, I didn't know that going in. Probably a good thing I didn't. But it started about, I don't know, a week earlier, around July 26th. I started to get all these back pains. And I just thought I hurt my back. I didn't know what was going on. And on the 27th, same thing. I had horrible back pains, like, whoo! I was sweating. My back hurt so much. And then on the 28th, that Wednesday, and this is of July, I had 103 fever. I'm looking at my notes just so you know. But I had 103 fever, and I was like, oh, crap, I bet I got COVID. I don't know where I got it. I don't know how I got it, but I got it. Anyway, I started alternating Tylenol and Advil and taking vitamin C and zinc and vitamin D and just drinking a whole lot of fluids, probably a couple gallon of fluids a day, to be honest. Because I drink a lot to begin with, so a couple of gallons is like nothing for me. I'm just a big old camel drinking full bunch of liquids over here. But anyway, the 103 didn't budge. I tried to, work it with the Tylenol and the Advil, and come July, 30th, we were just like, I got to go to the hospital. I took some oxygen tests at home, a little ox meter, and as you see, I think it was like 96, 97.
No, you're wrong.
When I checked it at home.
No?
No? At home it was worse?
It was way lower than that. That's what we finally decided.
I don't remember.
Yeah.
And that's the thing is, they talk about COVID fog. It's a real thing. My memory's a little foggy. So, she will correct me here because I'm lost a lot of it.
Because all this time when you had a fever and you were getting sick, I was talking to my sister who's a nurse, and we got as low as 82 on that pulse ox.
Did we really?
Yeah,
wow. See, I don't even remember any of that.
And lots of people were like, when that was happening, texting me like, oh, we should go to the hospital, but
right.
we were scared to go to the hospital because of all the stories that we
Sure, and I'm just not one to go to the hospital.
Yeah,
do that.
The important thing is we did try to get your doctor to see you, and we did try to go to urgent care, but
nobody got back to me quick enough.
And urgent care,
I'm not casting blame on them at all, but we tried to get to the urgent care and to a doctor. And I don't even remember what happened.
Well, urgent care just told you to go to the hospital, and the doctor said the same thing.
And they really didn't get back to me super quick. Which, I think in COVID, I hope that, we start to treat more people instead of just sending them to hospitals. Lord knows I'd rather treat it at home than went to a hospital, but it seems like the hospital was inevitable for me at this point.
Yeah. And when we went to the emergency room,
which was
Friday?
Friday the 30th, and it was packed.
It wasn't all COVID.
There was a lot of other stuff in there too, but there was definitely people with COVID in there.
And they don't let you stay there, so you have to say goodbye and drop off.
Yeah, so I sat there and hacked with my fever for a while. They got me in, they kept me in the back of the ER for a little bit. Ran some blood tests and oxygen stuff. I don't even remember it all. I think they put an IV in me. I do remember the guy taking care of me. He was great.
So they had like a separate COVID floor. So the first floor you were on was the COVID
floor. Yeah, they took me to the COVID floor and put me in a regular room for COVID.
And the thing that they tell you is they don't really provide any treatments. They just monitor.
Yeah, give you oxygen.
And give you oxygen, but there's no treatment.
It's not like they said, hey, take this drug, it's going to help you.
Yeah, there's nothing like that.
Yeah. The one thing they didn't tell me, surprising, and I think, we need to treat these people.
And so then a couple days later, you went to ICU.
Well, before that, what happened? They said I was super dehydrated, and I was shocked at that. I remember that specifically because I literally was drinking about 2 gallons of fluid a day, mostly water. And one thing that I learned is electrolytes were big. So I didn't have any Gatorade or Pedialyte in me. I was just drinking water. I figured it was better than water, but I guess I wasn't retaining the water. So when I went to the hospital, I was extremely dehydrated.
Probably because of that big fever.
Yeah, and I just couldn't catch up with it. So electrolytes are good. I wish I would have got on top of that then. Anyway, what happened? I was in a COVID floor.
And then you got transferred to ICU.
I got transferred. Oh, and there's a picture of me on the COVID floor when I was just on oxygen when I got in there. Right there.
So once you're on the COVID floor, you're just kind of
isolated.
Yeah. We weren't allowed to have. You weren't
No
allowed to have any
visitors. Nobody could come see me.
They were good though. They have an iPad and they let us FaceTime.
Yeah. Well, we weren't FaceTiming at that point. I think I still had my phone. Yeah, I did. I still had my phone when I was on the COVID floor. We didn't get to the iPad yet, and so when I went to the COVID floor, I still had my phone. My oxygen was low. They were giving me oxygen. I think I was on an IV then, I'm pretty sure. I don't remember, and nobody was allowed to come see me because it was totally restricted. The staff took great care of me. I just remember feeling horrible. I remember I never lost my sense of taste, but I got different tastes. Like my tastes were heightened in sensitivity. So salty food was like unbearably salty, and I had almost like a chlorine taste when I ate any type of meat at that point, but I never lost my taste, so that was different. And then I guess I got real sick, and this is where I get real foggy. At this point, I start not to remember a lot. I guess I talked to my brother, my sister, and my wife, and I told them they were taking me to ICU. I remember that, and I knew it was bad. I do remember that.
Yeah. So basically, it was August 1st at 4:30 in the morning. Got a FaceTime from Chris.
On my cell, yeah, and I had no idea what time it was. I don't even remember.
Covered with a mask, and the whole room was like an army of medical professionals.
I remember there was a bunch of people around me.
Yeah. And he was like, so basically, it's 4:30 in the morning. Chris is FaceTiming me with an army of medical professionals in the room. So I knew right then something was wrong.
Yeah.
Because he's scanning the room with the phone, and I can see.
Did I?
Probably like 10 or 12 people.
Really?
There.
See, all I remember is like a doctor, a nurse, maybe a.
And they're all masked up, of course.
Of course,
so it
yeah.
just looks even scarier.
Sure.
And you have this mask on your face.
I remember the mask, yeah. I got a picture of
You
that.
really couldn't talk. You pulled it off for a second, and you just said.
Oh, yeah. They had that CPAP machine on me. I remember that, yeah.
Yeah,
that's
they
right.
want to put me on the ventilator, and I was like, hold on, no, we didn't have a chance to talk about it. You assume, I think people assume that you'll get a call from the doctors, and as the spouse, like that you'll get to know about things ahead of time, but I didn't. So
it was quick.
It was 4:30 in the morning, and here I am. And I remember the doctor said to me, your husband is running a marathon that he can't win, and we have to put him on the ventilator now. And I asked Chris what he wanted, and he told me to call his sister. So
Yeah.
I called his sister real quick, and she said she didn't know what to do. So I FaceTimed Chris back real quick, and the doctor said that we needed to do this now. And then the doctor told me that we should call hospice. And I, of course, was very upset. And I was like, no, we're not even thinking about that because he's a fighter. We're not calling hospice. And then you said you loved me, and you gave me that love you sign.
Yeah.
And then that was pretty much it.
It's not rock and roll, it's I love you sign.
That's it, yeah.
So what happened then? Yeah, I gave you the love you sign.
Yeah, and I told you I loved you, and that was it.
That was it. And what I remember that, I just remember being wheeled into the ICU. I don't remember anybody that was, I know there was a lot of people helping me at that point, but my memory, I couldn't even tell you what their faces looked like at this point. I remember FaceTiming Crystal and telling her I loved her, and the doctor told me that he needed to put me in an induced coma to let my body heal. And he asked me if I wanted to do it, and I asked him if he thought it was the best thing for me, and he said that he did think it was the best thing for me. So I said, okay. And then I remember telling you I love you. I remember they stuck a needle in my arm, or an IV, I don't even remember, and I was out. After that, I don't know anything. And then they were talking to you, huh?
I mean, that was it. No, I didn't see them stick a needle in you. As soon as
Well, they told you to call hospice. I don't remember that.
Yeah. So after they told me to call hospice, and they said we were going forward with the vent, I said I love you. You said you love me. And that was it. I didn't see you again until we got to do a hospital visit. Because with COVID, you can do a hospital visit if they think that a near-death situation.
Yeah. So I didn't even know this.
They call it a goodbye visit.
It's like a goodbye visit. So COVID and ICU totally restricted, but they let you come see your loved one for one moment if they think they're gonna die.
Like,
so they were pretty sure I was dead. Let's put it that way. And you got to come visit me.
So I did, and that was horrible because you were in a induced coma and your body was paralyzed. And they say, they can probably hear you.
Yeah.
So I tried to talk to you, and it was really bad because that you had gone to the hospital with your ring on. And so at that point, the nurse was like, you should take his ring. And that was really hard. So then that was bad. That was really hard. So then I did take your ring and I put it on a necklace. I brought it home with me. And then then we prayed. We really prayed over your body. And I think that was the only thing that made a difference. Prior to going there, I think I was a wreck. And honestly, I guess myself and everybody I knew really thought you were not going to make it.
Yeah, basically everybody they talked to and doctors and medical professionals said I was going to die.
Yeah.
So, and I guess, I mean, like the real number they gave me was less than 1% chance.
But then like after praying over you,
Yeah.
I just felt like, and I think it wasn't my faith, it was your sister's faith. I felt like God was just with all of us, and
Right.
I just felt like we were going to get a miracle.
Mm-hmm.
I felt like that, and I felt just a peace and a calmness come over me and just protect me from all of the fear that I was filled with, and just, not that I felt 100% better walking out the door, but I did
No.
feel comforted
Absolutely.
and secure with you were coming home.
Right. I went into the ICU and they put me into the incubation, which I call incubation, but that's for like farm aides. It's not for me. I think I was incubated, as they call it. We're a big faith-based family, and if you're not, I'm sorry. This is our journey, and we're sharing it how we lived it, and faith is a big part of that for us. This is what happened after I was under. So after she prayed over me, and that was pretty amazing to me, because when I woke up, I was blown away.
But let's back up, because obviously you don't know everything that happened.
I don't know anything that happened. I was in a coma.
Yeah. So what happened is, obviously he was in a coma. He couldn't talk to us, but the nurses were really fantastic.
Yes.
And they would FaceTime with us, and they would hold the video camera up while we
Some
could talk.
amazing nurses.
Yeah, while we could talk to you and see you, and it was good. It was hard at the same time too, and then if anyone's ever waited for someone while they're at the hospital, you want news from the doctors, but at the same time you're scared when you call too. Some of the things that they did for Chris were they did a steroid, and then they did something called remdesivir.
Remdesivir, right? I think it's how it is, remdesivir, yeah.
And then they would prone him, so they would flip him from his back
Every
to his
12
front.
hours they rotated me, right? Yeah.
Yeah, and at one point, it's interesting the things that the doctors tell you, because some of the doctors were telling us that remdesivir was, or however you say it, was just protocol, and that they really didn't think that
it worked.
Which
we don't have any medical evidence either way. We're just hearsay stuff.
Yeah, but several doctors did say that to us, or say that to me over the phone, and then we were asking, of course, for alternative medicines and things like that, but they won't do that.
Yeah, they wouldn't do any kind of no alternative medicines
really,
whatsoever without a court order.
Yeah,
so they wouldn't even try anything, even though they thought I was dying.
We asked for increased vitamin D and vitamin C, zinc, and some other things, but it's not anything that we'll do. They did try to get him on a wait list for this ECMO machine, which is basically like a life-saving machine. And when we first heard about it, we were like, oh yeah, get him on a list. And we were trying really hard, calling different hospitals to try to get him on the list. And then the doctor reminded me that that was really your last result, and that if anything, we should just be hopeful that he would heal in place at the hospital and never need that machine. So he was on a wait list for that. There was 10 people ahead of you on the wait list. So.
And that machine, that's like a life support for people on ventilators, I think.
Yeah.
I think what it is, it like oxygenates your blood to give your heart and your lungs a rest or something.
But they've been using
it's like literally life support.
Yeah.
So.
They've been using it for COVID. So anyway, so that was kind of the experience when you were on the ventilator. We would talk to the doctors every day. They were good. We would FaceTime with the nurses every day, and that was good. But there really isn't any room for any, you ask for extra.
Yeah, they're already doing.
They're not going to do anything alternative. They have a protocol and they stick with that. And it's fine. I'm just saying, people think that you can. And my sister would say, ask for this, ask for that, because she's a nurse and she is up on the research and stuff. But they don't do that. So I think people should know that.
Then what happened? So I was still in a coma, and then I was in a coma from like 4 a.m. August 1st, I believe, that morning. And then you said they woke me up at like 3:30 in the afternoon on August 8th, which I didn't know what day it was until August 9th. But on August 8th, that was when all the fun started. Let me tell you what.
Well, on August 8th, they called early in the morning and told us that they thought he was ready. They were going to take him off the ventilator. And then they did, which we didn't see any of that. We didn't get to talk to you until a couple hours later and see you. And you have a picture of that.
I do, yeah.
And you can see the confusion.
Yeah, I was high as a kite, as they say.
Some of our friends were like, "Who is that?" Because first of all, they shaved his face, and then he has this like bewildered look on his face.
Yeah, and I was bloated, like with all the stuff they were pumping me with.
It was crazy.
And I was out of my mind. I was high as a kite. Whatever that was sedating or putting me on, I have no clue.
So as excited as we were to be off the vent,
still a little scary.
It was still scary. And I guess none of us really realized this. We were thinking, oh, get off the vent, everything will be great. But the doctor, that pulled you off the vent, we spoke and they said it's still 50-50. He said toss of a coin whether you would live or not, because there were so many things that could still go wrong.
Sure.
They were watching for blood clots.
Right, blood clots are huge. Yeah, they have me on blood thinners every day.
Yeah.
And all the steroids, they were testing my blood sugar every day. And I had no diabetes or anything before, but the steroids jacked you up.
Yeah.
And then, my digestive tract was all messed up because they had me on some antibiotics and stuff.
Yeah.
But when I woke up, that's when the fun started.
I don't know for who.
I was out of my mind. And I remember some of it, but I don't remember all of it. But I thought I was in a holistic Asian spa rehabilitation somewhere. And there was peacocks outside on this like grassy knoll with like a little bamboo bridge. And
you're floating in jello.
When they were excavating me, I thought I was in like a red embryonic fluid that I was being pulled out of. And I described it as red jello. I'm like, they're pulling me out of red jello. I had no idea. The ceiling was moving. There was weird music playing. I could see my nephews going up and down the halls, like tormenting staff. Now, none of this actually happened.
No.
I heard my wife yelling. I heard my family arguing. I heard all kinds of craziness. And come to find out, I was still in the hospital. I wasn't at an Asian spa. Holistic medicine, anything. I wasn't in red jello or embryonic fluid. And to my disappointment, there was no peacocks outside because I was like, ooh, peacocks. Peacock, right? No, anyway. So I finally came to an extent. I still was
So just so you know, when there were some other odd things that happened. So when you first came off, of course, you're expecting everything's going to be normal. You're going to be like so thankful to be alive, but he was so weird. You were like out of it.
I was out of my mind. I thought people were trying to attack me and kill me. I must have.
On the phone at like 2 a.m. in the morning.
Was it that early in the morning? I had no idea.
She's like, you need to talk to him and try to calm him down. And the first thing he said to me is, "This line is being recorded."
Yeah, I thought everybody was spying on me. And
watch what you say.
Yeah, there was all kinds of crazy stuff going on in my mind.
So it was just. I called his sister and we did like a 3-way call and we were just praying for him and then we fell asleep on the phone together.
Yeah.
Yeah. He was telling me that they lost his dentures and you did say that.
I lost my dentures.
Yeah, and that his contacts had been burned into
my contacts had been burned into my eyes. I did forget I had contacts in the whole time. That was crazy.
Yeah.
I thought I was blind for a while because I lost the contact, but they brought my glasses up because I do wear glasses and come to find out my eye wasn't melted. I was just missing my contact. So,
but there were some great people through all of
there
this.
really was. My IC nurses were just
there was a great
amazing.
Nurse,
well, we can't probably use their names because they haven't given us permission.
Really?
But we had some great nurses.
His last name.
And they know who they are. I don't know. We had some great nurses in the IC that really took care of me. They were really the frontline people battling this stuff with me. All the great nurses, all the great occupational therapists, physical therapists, respiratory guys and girls and ladies and peace and all the respiratory people. Even the housekeeping was amazing. They were great people. They really went above and beyond to make sure everything was sterile and sanitized.
And then, Chris had some really great friends that were reaching out to me every day. And that was really
all my buddies,
You can feel so alone.
Yeah.
You feel so alone and, and my work was fantastic and my daughter came home from college and that was good and people that you didn't expect really anything from were just letting you know that they were there anyway that they
people really stepped up.
They did. So I think that's an important thing to do for people even if you feel uncomfortable and you don't know what to do.
Yeah, it was all very appreciated.
Yeah.
True blessings to our family.
And you're alive. But the best thing is
Yeah.
now you can say you almost died.
Well, I
You
almost
love to
die
say
all
that.
the time, but
Yeah.
this time I have
This time
like
it's
clinical
real.
medical proof that I almost died. So, everybody, I have to have witnesses for all my other near-death experiences, but apparently this one was documented really well. But, I was just blown away. I had so many people praying for me that I had no clue. I mean, friends of friends that I didn't even know existed.
We had people in Brazil praying, people in Haiti praying, people all over America.
Yeah, Puerto Rico,
praying.
all over the entire country. I mean, from California to New York to Florida and everywhere in between. And I was on prayer lists and Bible studies and church groups and all over the whole country. I had so many people praying for me.
And I think praying and then praying with the power that God is already going to give you this miracle was something that I learned.
Yeah.
My friend had her brother call me from Haiti, and we prayed that prayer in Thanksgiving for what the Lord was already doing. And I just think we got a miracle.
We really did. We really did. So, thank you to everybody who was praying and pulling for me, and even the ones that weren't of faith that were still pulling for me. It's much appreciated, and all my friends that reached out and helped my family, and people that I didn't even expect to. What a blessing you have been to my family, and I really appreciate that. And my journey's still not over. At that point, I was just getting into the regular COVID floor. She did that, and what that means is this. So when I came out, I have nerve damage in my arm. Now I can open my hand, I can grab stuff, not very well.
Not at first,
but I had a lot of therapy and stuff like that, and I'm still working with it. But I had like this much movement in my hand when I came out from excavation. And they worked with me, and I regained, I would say, most of my use of my hand now. It's great. I'm a little weak in the wrist, is what she's talking about.
You're probably wondering if you still can fish.
Oh, I can fish. There's video evidence. I've already caught a bunch of snooks.
They were all small.
They were all small. There was one big one, but he didn't get to the boat, but we're going to fix that soon. But anyway, so, I've been cooking dinner and working around the house and using this wrist as much as possible to just, I got to use it so it comes back. And everybody's like 100% positive I'll regain everything. It just takes time, and I've already regained a ton. So to where I can do everything that I want to do. I just look a little funny doing it sometimes, which I already looked a little funny in the first place. So I went back to the COVID floor, and, they just went through rehab, a lot of great nurses and PCTs and, CNAs and everybody down there. And again, with the speech therapists and the physical therapists and occupational therapists all working every day to get me out of there. And the thing is, I got off the excavation, and I was already at like 40 liters of oxygen from 100% oxygen.
Even the staff was couldn't believe it.
Yeah,
the nurses thought, they really were claiming a miracle.
Yeah, that was what was really interesting. We talk about miracles, and I do truly blessed. And, I encourage everybody to, reach out with that on their own. But, I was at 100% oxygen. And I believe that in the beginning they said, wow, it's still not enough. Even though I think they said my oxygen was still a little low. Yeah, even when I was at 100, whatever, the max oxygen they could give me without hurting me, I think. Because I think I don't know, I was out of my mind. And then, when I was excavated, I was down to 40 liters. And I believe that was discharge level for the ICU. And then I was only in the ICU after I was excavated like a day and a half.
It wasn't long at all. And
then they released me back to the COVID floor, which they were shocked. They're like, you're too healthy to be in the ICU after less than 2 days of being excavated, which everybody was in total shock, And once you're incubated on a respirator, they really like to see people come out because most people don't. So they were very excited for me. I actually had a lot of visitors from medical staff in the ICU, just to like, wow, this is the guy that made it. I was like a little rock star up there for a little while, and then had my 5 minutes of fame. Well, a day and a half actually, and then I got discharged to the regular COVID floor where I started, and same thing there. My healing was so quick. I went from 40 liters of oxygen to 2 liters of oxygen, and I want to say within like 5 or 6 days, which was like unprecedented. They were like, holy cow. And that's discharge level. I think 3 liters is discharge level, 3 or 4 liters. And I was already at 2 liters, and they just wanted to make sure I had oxygen to go home with for, when I was, doing my physical therapy, that I was fatigued. And, You know, I wanted it for when I was sleeping, you know.
Yeah, you were scared about it.
Because I was scared. I was having nightmares and stuff. And
we had the stairs, so when he came home,
I had to go upstairs.
that was the biggest goal, because he really just wanted to get upstairs, shower, his bed.
Yeah, I was dying for a shower because they won't give you a shower in the hospital without doctor's orders. And I take like 3 showers a day. I'm a little obsessive, and I was dying to get a shower.
So we had the chair at the base of the stairs, then at the first
landing
of the stairs,
yeah.
and then at the top of the stairs.
Yeah.
And then you went in the room and you were good.
Yeah, but I mean, first day home, I made it from the car to the house to the first landing, to the top of the stairs, and then to my room, and then to the shower, which, I mean, if you think about it, after, 2.5 weeks or so in the hospital, because I was on a regular COVID floor, I think like 8 or 9 more days.
But he was breathing
I was
heavy.
breathing heavy.
Yeah.
You know, it wasn't like I was ready to go. I had to sit down and breathe, and I was using the oxygen the whole time when I went up the stairs. Actually, when I came into the house and when I went up the stairs, I had portable oxygen with me, you know. Where now I'm up and down the stairs like, geez,
I think it took 4 weeks
to really get me going good.
For you to be independent. So he was stuck in that room for about 4 weeks.
You think that long? I don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
No. Rewind that. Let's take that out. He was stuck in that room for about 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
With me bringing all his food to him.
Yeah.
I think the last
I had room service for a while.
I don't think he really needed it the last week. But
you know, whatever. I got room service, you know.
But then I think he got sick of all the healthy food I was eating, so he was ready to walk up and down stairs on his own.
One more piece of chicken.
Yeah.
Telling you what. Oatmeal and chicken and bananas and bleh.
I
mean, I was good. It tasted great because I hadn't eaten anything when I was in a coma.
Yeah, but by the week 2,
yeah, I was like, all right.
Real food.
Yeah, I was like, can we get some chicken wings or some pizza? You know, fat guy can't survive on grilled chicken.
And I'm a horrible cook, so.
You know, horrible. But
wow.
Anyway, we'll just move from that subject.
But he finally did get those chicken wings.
I did get the chicken wings, but after I came down. I didn't get them before I left the room. Thank goodness I left the room.
Never would have got chicken wings.
But I came downstairs and started doing great, and I'm off my oxygen 100%. I don't use oxygen at all anymore. My O2 levels are great. I'm usually around 97 right now. Got lung x-rays and showed the progression, which I'll put in these videos of the the COVID, has it progressed through my lungs. And I'll put them like when we were talking about the ICU, and I'll show them again here at the end. And then I got an MRI of my lungs, and pretty interesting stuff. Tell you what, how it looks and cotton webs everything up in there and inflames everything. But I'm home now. I'm doing great, and we're back on track. Lots more adventures to come with Chef Outdoors and cooking and camping. But we wanted to tell everybody how thankful we were and the journey we went through, and just to share our experience. We're one big family in this world, and we all need to help each other. And I just wanted to share what I went through, and please comment, keep it nice.
Yeah,
we don't need any negativity.
Yeah.
If you don't like religion, that's all right. If you don't like what we said, then it's our opinion. We're not looking to argue or anything. We're just telling you what our perspective was on it. And we'd like to hear yours. And we appreciate all support. Comment, tell us your story below. Keep it clean, no negativity. If you don't like what we did or you don't like faith, that's fine. Keep it to ourselves. You want to talk about your story, that's great also. Just remember, everybody's reading this, and I'm not here to cause controversy. We're just here to share. So, if you haven't subscribed to our channel, I'll shamelessly plug myself. Please subscribe to Chef Outdoors and watch some videos. I'd love to be able to do this full time.
Yes.
That would be wonderful.
That'd be fantastic.
And hopefully in the future we will be able to. But thank you for all the support and all the outreach and caring, because it's been overwhelming, and we just want to thank everyone.
Yes.
But as always, tell your mother, brother, uncle, grandpas. Now we don't need to do that. But anyway, y'all have a great evening, and thanks for watching.